Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a campaign using the little-known but very powerful message request action. Unlike the message action, which can only be sent to your connections, the message request action will allow you to send a message to someone who isn't in your LinkedIn connections, in 4 cases. If you're in the same group as them, if you're taking part in the same event as them, if you're in the same company, or if the person has an open-to-work profile. Clearly, we're going to use it mainly in the first 2 cases, i.e., we'll be able to send a message to all prospects who are in the same group as us or taking part in the same event as us. The message request does not arrive in the same place as a standard message. Your message request lands directly in your prospect's inbox, and you're even at the top of the pile thanks to this intriguing notification, which prospects generally consult. Until now, this feature has been little exploited, which makes it a real competitive advantage for your marketing campaigns. Why use this message request at all? With the free package, you can send an invitations per month or per week. With the advanced and business packages, you'll be able to send an invitations per month or per week. If you followed the video where I showed you how to get a 1-month trial on the business package, you'll be able to send invitations during your 1-month trial. For most people, this is a large enough volume. However, for those who wish to prospect en masse, this limit can become restrictive. This is where message requests come into their own. With the business and advanced formulas, you can use another quota and send messages per day or messages per week. This feature is extremely interesting if you want to go beyond invitations. Here, we're talking about messages sent each week. In the case of invitations, if you add the I action afterwards, only those who have accepted the invitation will receive one, whereas the action will allow you to send a message without the prospect having to be in your relationship, just because he's taking part in the same event as you or is in the same group as you. Very interesting indeed. How do you set up a campaign with a... First of all, it's another type of action that takes place in very specific sequences. In the same way as your classic messages, message requests can be followed by reminders. We'll start with the campaign if you want to send a single message request to people in the same group as you. The procedure is exactly the same for people taking part in the same event. To do this, go to Start a Campaign at the top, then to Browse Sequences, then click on the next to the filter and select Visit. Next, click on the Browse again, and this time select Message Request. I advise you to add the Profile Visit action beforehand, because depending on the origin of the prospect's import into Waalaxy, the information that the prospect was in your group or participating in the same event may not have been retrieved. The Profile Visit action before the message request will allow Waalaxy to retrieve this information. Here, you select the Visit campaign plus message request. Next, you'll need to name the campaign. In our case, we'll put Visit plus message request group event service provider DJ, photographer, etc. here. As you may have seen in a previous video, we imported prospects from this group into Waalaxy. Important point. As I said in the video on importing leads from a group or event, importing via groups has one major drawback. You can't add any filters to your list. In this group, we can see that there are DJs, photographers, and florists. Your first option is to manually sort your list in Waalaxy. You can do the same for event participants. Another option is via SACE Navigator, LinkedIn's premium package, which offers an interesting feature, but only for groups and not events. As a reminder, I've made a video explaining how you can benefit from a 30-day free trial of SACE Navigator. In the advanced filters on SACE Navigator, you can select members of a group in addition to other filters. You can then target the members of the group you've joined, then add the filters you want, such as title, region, or company size. The result is prospects with a finer segmentation than from the list of group members. Once you've selected your prospects, you can write your first message. For the message request sequence, as you can see, variables are also available. The person's first name, the person's last name, the person's company. It's essential that you personalize your message as much as possible. But I'll be sharing my tips for creating optimized prospecting messages on LinkedIn in another video to maximize your response rate. You can also find and use your message templates. Once you've written your message, simply click on Validate. You'll find a summary here with the type of sequence, which prospect is concerned by this campaign, and finally the type of content, i.e., a message request only. All you have to do then is click on Launch My Campaign, and off you go. If you don't want to send just one message request and prefer to send a campaign with 2 or more messages to prospects who are in the same group or taking part in the same event as you, that's possible. You'll simply have to opt for another campaign. To do so, simply select the appropriate campaign. Go to Start a Campaign, browse the sequence, then click on the plus next to the filter and select Visit. Next, click on the plus again and select Message Request. Finally, click on the plus again and this time select Message. Here you can choose from 1 to 7 messages. The procedure is the same. In our example, we'll start with 2 messages, making a total of 3 messages for the prospect. So you choose 2 and click on Select. You'll see that the setup is similar to what we've just done with the campaign, with only a message request. We'll need to name the campaign. We can put Visit plus 3 messages, Group, Service Provider, Event, DJ, Photographer, etc. Likewise here, we'll need to import the prospects. Write the first message. The only difference with the campaign we ran earlier is that we'll have to integrate the delay between the first message and subsequent messages. Obviously, if the person responds to the first message, they won't receive the other messages. That's when they don't reply to the previous messages. In my case, I generally set a time limit of 7 days. In other words, if the person doesn't reply to the first message, they'll receive a second message 7 days later. You'll have to enter the second message here. And here again, you'll need to enter the time between the second message and the third message. Once again, only if the person hasn't replied to the second message. In my case, I'm setting it at 7 days. Then you'll have to write the third and final message. Finally, all you have to do is make sure that everything is right with your campaign and click on Launch My Campaign. That's all for this video on how to create a campaign with the request a message action. See you soon.